Welcome to Pay-to-Play Impressions for Battle Chasers Nightwar. So this is a game that's available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC and mobile. On all mobile, Android and iOS. It's a role-playing JRPG fashion type of a game. And well, let's get right into it and I'll show you a few things. So looking at options, graphics wise, everything is at maximum. Description of my hardware is as usual in the description of the video, so you can see that there's not really much difficulty in running this game, and so it's kind of interesting, but I'll show you that it runs on both 30 and 60 FPS. So let's continue on and I'll show you exactly how the game is like and how it's played. The game is about a group of adventurers that set out to explore an island that is a source of mana in this world, and well, once they get to the island they get attacked by the pirates and they get separated, and so now you're trying to kind of find the rest of your friends, and along the way you get different quests. So here it is, this kind of overworld map, and at the same time this is also where I can go into different buildings in the town and I can buy items here, weapons, armor, so on. Sometimes they're on discount, so it kind of shows you that if you want to buy that stuff while it's on discount, you have a choice to do so. You can also, if you have enough money, you can upgrade the building so it will offer you better stuff in the future. Alright, so there's a blacksmith, there's alchemist, there's an inn that you can heal yourself in, as well as buy some healing items. An alchemist can sell you healing items, and so here we are overall in the world. As you walk around here, you'll be meeting different enemies. So right now I think because I cleared some of the enemies earlier, not showing up, but at these different white points that you see here, enemies could show up. It could be different also encounters and such things. Here there's some kind of gate, but I can't open it right now, so the story keeps telling me that's not possible. There's also another gate there that I think I can proceed though through different ways. Now there's also kind of a situations here. You see, I try to go to the sorcerer and it tells me that my guy's just looking at this location where the sign used to be. So what happened was that originally when I entered into the town, there was a sign on the sorcerer's door. There was an option to rip it off and throw it away, and I did so, and then the game told me the sorcerer will remember that. And so I'm not sure exactly how that will affect me, but the sorcerer will remember that. Same way in the dungeon, at one point I found a thing that I could do for the town that was not really part of the quest for the town, but I did anyway. And let's see, looks like we're gonna enter into the dungeon here. So this is one way, one of the dungeons that you can possibly look into, enter, see. This is the graphic style here, and as you can see also, in the overall world map and in the game, you're running at 30 FPS. But during the combat sections, we're gonna exit from here. I'm just gonna go into the dungeon that I know of. That will be really good, the showcase of what you can expect in terms of combat. And next bit of explanation about the different dungeons here. And once you're in the combat, it runs at 60, but not sure exactly why the whole thing can't run at 60, because it's not like my hardware is being strained running this at 60 during the battle. So that's how it is. Let's enter here, and I'm gonna reset this dungeon. I'm gonna play it on legendary difficulty. There's 3 difficulties available here, as you can see. I can choose legendary, right? And because depending on that difficulty, I can get the different treasures. Now the game teaches you, using this kind of similar dungeon mechanic, it also teaches you the tutorial section of the game. It's really good. It's very fast, teaches you I think all the basics really nicely, interestingly, and still kind of works very well in the story. Additionally, the game has a whole manual inside of it. So if I go here at the game manual and the options, right here, the whole manual is here, and that means that if I'm ever lost, I'm trying to remember something, in the game itself, I can very quickly look it up here, no problems. Go in, here we are, and I reset the dungeon, so there's going to be new things here in the dungeon. Let's trigger a battle here. This guy's actually getting hurt by the traps in the dungeon. We're just gonna run through, and there we go. So these 2 guys we're gonna be fighting here. depending how often you fought a certain enemy, it will give you the details on that enemy. If you didn't fight often enough, you're not gonna get any details. So I have different abilities available to me. I can just actions, which is will be done immediately, or I can do abilities which will be done later. So let's say I have this one, it's called Nature's Boom, which will heal on damage all my guys, and then this one I can just do a simple attack here. There we go. It's him, and he has, let's say, a bleeding type of cat, so which causes bleeding. So I'm gonna use that on him. So now it's his turn, and my guy's gonna give me the heal on damage perk, and now as I get damage I get healed, so it's kind of pretty good, right? So it reduces the damage I take. Now it's interesting that this big guy is actually quite often the healer in the group. Now here's the thing, because I have this kind of, see here the red bars here, that adding to the mana bar. This is a health bar, this is a mana bar. That means this is like a free mana that you get for using normal abilities. It's called overcharge, and I can use that instead of mana. So let's say you're gonna use the scatter shot ability on this one, and on the team, let's say I'm gonna use a warblade ability. As you can see, doing my abilities does not mean that they're gonna be doing them right now. Instead, I'm being pushed lower in the sequence. So Golem can do also the healing thing, so let's do that. I'm gonna heal, she's gonna throw that rock at him, there you go, and he's gonna do this. Very well done. Right, alright. And now we're just gonna finish up quickly with this simple attacks. As you can see, the game is running at 60 FPS right now. Right, there you go, that's done. And so that's, you know, you win, you gain XP, and shows you what you want for the battle, what kind of loot, and so on. And we're gonna go right into another combat. It's this guy now, and let's see. He's already bleeding, so I'm just gonna go ahead, jab him like this. Do another sting. You can multiply the bleeding ability so that there's a further damage incurred. There we go. He can poison us though, but my guy can also, the healing guy can remove this kind of things here, right there. That's possible. Again, we're gonna attack, and that's it. So very simple. Because I already run this dungeon once, as you can see, it's not that difficult for me to go through it. My character's at higher levels, so they're going faster and easier against these enemies. If you're going in for the first time, you might not have an easy time. And then we can explore the dungeon and pick up some items here and there and so on. And they'll all go into your inventory, and here's my inventory. Depending on stuff in inventory, like this stuff is for crafting that you can do in town or in the dungeon. There's places for that. There's healing items, there's weapons I can equip, other equipment here is available to me, armor and so on. So all that I can put in. Here's my heroes. You can look at them, at their abilities and such, their items that they equipped, and you can read up about different combat abilities, what they do and so on. You can also, there's also something called a burst ability. Burst ability is when all your characters are taking damage and fighting. Eventually they build up this burst meter, and they can unleash, one of them can unleash for that burst meter kind of big attack, right? And I usually won't like to save that for the boss battles or for larger battles, because there could be battles where you're gonna have waves of enemies. Because if you're fighting more than 3 enemies, if more than 3 enemies see you in the dungeon, then you're gonna be fighting them in waves. So there's also something called perks that you can change up. Let's say if you don't want stamina up, you can unselect it now and artillery calibration and so on. That's totally available to you to do so, right? And you gain stamina points as you advance through the levels. Finally, there's also the dungeon abilities, like such as this one here. It's ability to heal, and you control which ability you're gonna have by switching through different characters, right? Depending on which character I'm playing, that ability will be active. So I can heal or do something like that. So that's pretty much overall the game, how it's played, and now you're gonna see what is there to do in this game? Well, there's you gonna have to explore the storyline, see what's happening, the way things are happening, right? And that's one thing to do. You can rerun the dungeons if you want to, if you trying new combinations of weapons and so on, and just to grind the new levels. That's available. There's a fishing mini game available in the game, and there's something called arena fights, which is kind of like a dungeon that you just have to keep on fighting different enemies. That's available. So overall, that's pretty interesting. The themes wise, I'm not sure exactly what themes here is beyond the usual good versus evil theme, right? There might be something about friendship theme and that's such, but haven't gotten that far in the game to see the themes. Overall, I think this is a very good game because of the visual style and such things, and the intuitive action, I would say, also in the game. Everything's pretty simple to understand, everything's pretty clear. And I might actually be interested in playing in the future, but right now the game is leaving Xbox Game Pass, so therefore I cannot really continue on for now, but I might will revisit this in the future. Overall, it would have been a cool game because of the abilities that the different heroes have, or different attacks they present, would really make them interesting. In such, I would say they were, would be very cool. Have the girl who grabs the ground, pulls out a rock and throws it. She can also punch the ground so hard that it actually attacks the enemy. It's called a quake attack type of option. So there's a different sword fast attacks that are available for swordsman, and the golem has a different gun attacks as well. So all that is very interesting, and because of that I would say that the game is cool, but for one problem: it is available on mobile, which immediately puts it in the seriously uncool category. Alright, well, thank you for watching, for listening. If you like this video, please like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it, and please subscribe and follow.